For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm giving you guys a bit of a pitching video on the new Coleman OctaGo and showing you kind of how it goes up and how quick, simple and easy it really is to pitch it on your own. So naturally it comes in a solid, nice little pack bag. So you open it up, take all the components out that you need, which is pretty much everything. Now you've got the fly sheet which goes on separately. For the time being we'll leave that just over there because we want to pitch the inner tent first. So find the inner tent. We'll lay out the part, remove the pole, and then sort of kind of lay out the ground sheet of the inner tent. So once you kind of unravel that, you want to sort of position it kind of where you want to pitch it. Pretty much that is kind of the ideal sort of footprint. So we'll probably bring it this way a smidge. Now, if you get your pegs and peg it down first, it secures it to the ground. You haven't got to worry about it suddenly drifting off and you get a little bit of gust of wind. Plus it means, say you've got your pitch occurred on the festival campsite. So if you do the front door first, and you want to kind of, because it's like obviously a hexagon shape, well, octagon shape I should say, if you get that dead square first, you can then kind of do the front two corners, go to the opposite side and sort of pull against it and get that kind of like a rectangle. So it wants to be sort of kind of squarish, and that's going to help get the ground sheet nice and secure, but all in line with each other. Then you can go about doing the corners. Yes. So now it's pegged out. What I'm going to do is get all the poles out and decipher essentially what pole goes where. You have two different kind of lengths of poles. So you have a longer pole and then a shorter pole. The shorter poles are for the roof sections, long poles are the legs. So all I'm going to do is just make two poles. So they're longer poles. Also you can tell by what are leg poles and what aren't leg poles. So there you go, that's the difference in the height between two. The leg pole will only have a sort of like a button clip at one end, whereas the roof poles not only are shorter, but have on both ends as well. You do have it in there as well, two leg poles which have a plastic kind of joint. That is for the actual kind of canopy. So the little rain safe canopy door that's on there. Smaller, longer. So once you've kind of completely got all your poles out, they are linked together to one another. And you've got one fiberglass pole, which we'll come to in just a moment. So we should have 8 short poles, 8 long poles, but 2 of the 8 need to have that plastic point. So we are correct. So if I spread these out kind of around the actual tent itself, it's all sort of positioned where you go. It doesn't really matter where you start. The only thing we'll do first and foremost is find the central plastic hub, because all the poles are going to there. So you can slot that in. The button clip on the actual, when it goes into the hub, faces down, and there's a little kind of underneath slot you can see, and it pushes and clicks into the place. Then the plastic joint knocks on there, with the button clip on that needs to be facing upwards, just so again you see it knocks into the slit. So all you're going to do really is just work your way around the tent, making sure that each one goes into each section. And if you sort of start from one point and work your way around, you know that you haven't put one into the wrong side, which has been known to be done. This is probably one of my favourite small tents, just because it's quite different to everything else, and it certainly stands out quite nicely on a campsite, but offers, you know, a decent amount of interior headspace. for sort of a small pitch. And because it's kind of quirky design, you're never going to miss what tent is yours. Ideal to be used sort of for either family camping, or if you want to use it for festivals, that also works quite nicely as well. And last but not least, so now we've got kind of that sorted, you can see it naturally kind of fits a dome. All I'm going to do now is, yet again, same kind of idea. Start with 2 central poles, but spread these all around the back. Job's a good one. If I start with the 2 central poles there's a little blue bit of tape on there. That refers to the blue strap. So you want to insert it into the front part first, and then into the ring and pins. So just put that pin in the bottom of there. I think personally, if you sort of do like we did with the initial pegging point, maybe do the front 2 and just go and do the back 2. That way it will pretty much stand up in its own kind of right. And once you kind of got the pole in place, what you can also do is just simply clip the pole on. So there's a little clip located just for the fly sheet to attach onto. But you can see it doesn't really take an awful lot of time, and you can use it as it kind of is once it's, well, up at least, as almost like a day tent. You know, kids can quite happily play in there. Or, you know, if you want to use it just as almost like a pup tent inside of an awning. Yeah, again, there's multiple purposes. If the weather gets a little bit too kind of rough, then you just bring it inside, whereas it can be in its own kind of own right. Bum, bum, bum. And we're halfway there. So you see, kind of nice and simple. It's kind of adhesive, so it's got a bit of strength in itself. But certainly when we put the fly sheet on now and guy it out, it's going to be its full strength. One thing I think it's a very smart tent. You know, it looks very smart, looks very kind of eye-catching. With the fly sheet, you want to find the front door. It's the only kind of bit without a panel built into it. There we go, there it is. So you see it's kind of like a little bit of a lip. And then if you can use the wind to assist you, makes it a lot easier. So we're just going to flip this over the top. Put it on roughly where it needs to be. Like I said, you can see these kind of patches here need to be where the knuckle joints are. And there's a little Velcro kind of point there which you can just Velcro around just the underside of the knuckle. And that will kind of keep it all kind of mainly at bay. So I would probably at this point Velcro it all around now for the time being. And then once you've kind of Velcroed it, you can then, there's a little kind of elasticated kind of hook, put that onto the sort of the ring of the ringing pin, or actually onto the actual bottom of the pole as well. So you can sort of work your way around. And it goes. And it helps to keep it all neat and tidy. Ideally, the seam that runs down the actual fly sheet should marry up with the pole itself to make sure it's all kind of in line and sitting correctly. It's got the same pitching process for the big OctaGo as well as the OctaGo. So it is kind of this simple, just obviously on a slightly larger scale. Now, the canopy pole is by means the last pole that goes in. What you can do is just, there's a small little sleeve on the underside of this little brow part. So you can feed that in like so. And then it just slots in the big knuckle joint located there. You might need to just remove this point just to help give you a bit more play in the actual item. So that's now in. I can attach that back on. You also have Velcro points at a low level as well to keep that fabric nice and neat at the base of it. And that smits right there. Kind of very smartly onto there. And by all means least, got to guy it to get it out for attention. The sides actually can be kind of rolled back. We do have our own sort of full-on in-depth review video on this model, which you can check out on our YouTube channel, or in link below to our website where it's got all the information about prices and so forth. So that's worth a little look. Bum, 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 bum. You might need to tweak it here and there with the actual main pegging points, just to kind of make sure it's all sort of ship shape. And the job's good, really. Nearly there. Oops, daisy. But you can see once it's kind of physically all pegged out, it's an absolute rock when it's up. Our last point what we might do is just, if you're not going to zip up these sides and open them up, it'd be worth just pegging them out a little bit. Bit of tension in the fabric. You can probably get a bit more tauter. As you can see, it just keeps the fabric nice and taut. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. One peg shy. And we're done. So yeah, nice and easy, nice and strong and sturdy. But yeah, in essence, that's kind of how you would pitch the Coleman OctaGo. Like, for more information on this product, check in our link below. We've got everything you need to know pretty much about it, as well as an inside look on what it's like. But thanks for watching. Any more information, let us know what you think.